me a second to get the recording on this one started. We're facing a rogue here. We're going to put the Cogmaster's Wrench back. We'll keep these other guys, although the Murloc Tidehunter is not very good against them, but it will give them something to use the weapon on. So if they were hoping to curve out with some other stuff, then it should be enough to like entice the opponent to change their plans. So if they were not going to weapon up on turn 2, then they might do it if we play the Tidehunter. We've got a nice follow-up with this 3-drop. I guess we'd have this guy instead, but we're not going to play that many we're not going to play that many spells early, so I don't think that the Mana Addict is going to be a better start than the Tidehunter is. Mana Addict can be a good turn 4 because we can weapon in Mana Addict, and then Cold Blood is a card that we're likely to have mana for, along with like whatever else we want to play on turn 5, other than our Ogre in hand. So opponent does not weapon. We've got a pretty good trade with our 2-1 here, so I think we want to take this. And we're just going to play the Ogre. So they did go for the building up their own tempo rather than playing the weapon and taking the card advantage route, which is fine. It looks like they are gonna give up some card advantage there, but backstab is nice for that. Backstab is meant to give up the card advantage to get a little extra speed. Here I think we do want to use the Cold Blood. We've got a pretty nice use of this along with our 1-1 that was basically free because I expected this guy to die a couple turns ago, and we can use this to enable combo. So we get to take out his 3-4. We get to take out a decent creature with the Cold Blood, and this is better here. The Scarlet Crusader is better against Rogue than against Mage because they do have to take 6 to kill it with their weapon, and that's a significant amount. We'll use our weapon on this turn to kill their 1-1 so that they have to hit it again and take another 3, and we'll do a total of 9 to them with this, which is pretty good, I think, for one card. And the Mana Addict is not gonna be the best here, but it's passable, I think. Hopefully we won't need to play the Eviscerate because I would just like to play the Boulder Fist Ogre next turn. But if we draw something that is 4 mana or less, we may end up eviscerating like this thing. So we've got a little bit of life advantage here, and our opponent has a better board, but we do get to make a play before they do. Buccaneer, does that change anything? We can Buccaneer, weapon up, eviscerate that guy, I guess. So I would use 5 mana, and no, I don't think the Buccaneer is what we want right now. We're just going to play the Ogre. This lets him, basically, he just gets to eat our Mana Addict, but that's okay. So this is going to go face, and I think we hit this thing here. The reason to use the weapon on that, even though it doesn't kill his Mind Control tech, if his Mind Control tech kills our Mana Addict, then we can take another 3 damage next turn when it's a 3-1 and kill it, and then we just get to deal with it with our weapon, of course. And that's pretty nice too, because that lets us hit the Boulder Fist Ogre and kill it and keep our Ogre around. Do we want the Buccaneer first? This is going to be 2 5 mana. It doesn't actually matter if we have a 1 or a 2 damage weapon to kill this thing. So I'm kind of inclined to save it, but I guess this will go down to 1 toughness, so he might want to use his weapon on our Ogre. So we'll play the Buccaneer out here too. Having all our guys with 1 toughness is like pretty bad against a card like Fan of Knives or Blade Flurry, but if he doesn't have some sweeper like that, it's good to give him like a variety of targets for his weapon. This way, like, the opponent is going to want to kill any of our things but can't get them all at once. So it's good to give them, like, if you have to give them options, it's good to give them more options than they can choose, at once. I guess that doesn't make a lot of sense because that's kind of the definition of, like, options, isn't it? But if you have to get your guys killed, it's better to risk more guys at once. How about that? This is a pretty easy thing. We can just kill this with our dagger here. He probably put that out as bait for it, but that's fine because we get to keep this around and hit again. Anytime you are getting extra uses out of the creatures, it's good. So you always want to, like, protect those and force the opponent to deal with them if you can. If you can, like, use your life total instead of your creature's toughness. It lets you get extra hits in. So we've got a 3/4 and a 2/3 to get through. I don't think we want to assassinate that, but we can eviscerate it. We can also just send our Ogre Ninja in and see what this hits. So the Ogre just does its job and hits that thing, so we can kill this one. And this looks like a decent target for our eviscerate since we still have the assassinate in hand. This clears the opponent's board, which is always good. It looks like we've got a pretty decent amount of damage facing them here, so I'd say this game's going pretty well. Kraken's a nice one. It's a nice, like, 2-for-1. That turns pretty straightforward. We just play out all our cards. The Kraken was big enough there that it was worth using our Assassinate, because that was, in the last game, that was kind of something I was talking about. Like, you want to play the Assassinate so that you can just ignore a card that they play. Like, they play out a creature, and rather than have to deal with it by attacking it, you just ignore it and you keep hitting them, and that's exactly what we did there. So that's the kind of time that you really do want that. These guys don't have Death Rattle, so we'll just be playing this as a 3/4. But that's okay. We don't have an easy way to kill this, so we're just going to go face with these. And we'll put this guy over here so that we can play around Betrayal. This way our creatures that are our 3/4s go on the outside, so if the opponent does have Betrayal, they actually can't kill two things with it. They can only kill the anti-Keel bot with a Betrayal. And it looks like we should be able to get through this. We just need to draw, something to keep a creature out. The opponent cannot really hit any of our creatures at this point in the game. Well, that's not it. Sinister Strike would be pretty funny here. Just draw the burn spell for their face. So we should be able to win this with the poison. And that's it. That was a fun game.